Hi everyone, welcome back. I have a new mold. I received it today and it is from Into Resin. They reached out to me, asked me if I would be interested in presenting one of their handmade molds. And I said, absolutely I would. And so they asked me to go out and choose which one I would like to receive, which was not an easy task because they have so many and it was hard to choose. And so finally I settled on one and got it today. And they did want me to let everyone know that there are delays in shipping because these molds are handmade. They're not like other molds. And so if you haven't received your mold yet, don't panic. It's gonna get to you. It's just taking a bit longer because they've had an overwhelming amount of response to these handmade molds. And so they asked me to let everyone know that your molds are coming. It's just taking a bit longer because of the overwhelming amount of response that they've had. And I think I waited 4 to 6 weeks, which if you look on their website, it does say that in the hand mold made section, that it could take up to 4 to 6 weeks to get your mold. And that's just the handmade molds. It's not any of the other items. So, so be patient. You will get your mold. It's just going to take a little extra time because these are made by hand. They're not mass produced like all of the other molds. So, that being said, this is the handmade lotus mold, and they give you instructions. It says, thanks for ordering handmade molds from us. This mold needs more time to be handcrafted and will be shipped within 10 to 30 days after the ordered date. Sorry for keep you waiting. Really appreciate your patience and support. Hope you enjoy it. So there you go. 10 to 30 days, it says, which is what I said, 4 to 6 weeks. So just be patient. You'll get your mold, and believe me, from what I've seen on all the other channels, it's going to be worth the wait. Let me put gloves on because I don't want any kind of funk on my new mold. Are these are gloves? You put new. I can't remember if I got those out or if those were from my other project. And like I said, from what I've seen on other channels, Marva, she got her molds and hers were spectacular. And I've seen Tracy with mini scenes. She's gotten her molds and they are awesome. So get her out here. Packaging is great. I love these bags. They are awesome to keep them in. So this I'm sure comes off. Cool. I'm assuming you can put that back on after you're done. And I love this color pink. But so this is the lotus mold. I don't know if you can see up in there, but there is lots of detail inside this mold. And I know everyone was doing the little lotus mold at first, but I wanted to try this one just because, you know, I love a challenge. So trying a new mold with this much detail is just right up my alley. There's something on that. Let's see. Hopefully it's embedded in the mold if it doesn't come off. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's in the mold. Okay, well, I'm not going to worry about it then. It's inside the mold. So I'm just looking at the mold just to see if there's anything I need to look out for. But there's lots of little details in there. And being I just made molds, this detail is awesome. Very good quality. Very good quality mold. Okay, so I want to pour in this mold today, and it's not a deep pour. Clear down to the petal. It's only 1 3/4 inches, and across this mold is 3.5 inches. So that's a good size mold, but not deep enough for deep pour, thank goodness, because I'm still waiting on my other mold to get done. So let me mix up some resin, and I am going to use Let's Resin casting resin because it is a thinner viscosity and tends to work better with lots of details. And so let me mix up some resin and I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, way back. Got my resin. I mixed up 100 mLs. I hope that's enough. I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm gonna let that rest for just a minute. I ran it through my vacuum chamber. And so what I thought I would do is, I thought I would put some resin in it, clear, and then I thought I would drop in a couple drops of alcohol ink in like magenta or peach red, something along those, pinky, because you know lotus flowers are not all, but some of them are peach red. I mean are pink anyway. And then I'll let that move for a little bit, and then I'll put more clear in, and then I'll put another color in like cranberry, and then I'll put some more clear in. And so we're gonna try that and see what happens. I'm not gonna put any of the white alcohol ink in it. I just want to try just the colors by themselves, just to see what kind of effects, swirl effects we get. Got something in my resin. I just want to see what kind of swirl effects we get with clear. And I don't want to go overboard on it either. So we're going to go ahead and just pour some resin here. And I want to try to avoid the middle because the middle is I want to save it for last if I can. I mean, I don't care if clear resin gets in there, but I want to try to avoid getting any okay. Now, while that's in there, I'm just going to squish it around a little bit because I can see some bubbles, even though I ran this through my vacuum chamber. But this is a mold that has multiple cavities. And I think I'm going to start with the magenta. Okay. Now I'm going to pour more clear. Do I want to wait a minute? Because I can see a big old bubble right there. This stuff really attracts bubbles. Let that move for a minute. You guys can see this, right? Okay, now I'm going to put some more clear. Just going to force that color to move around. Definitely mixed up too much. 50 mLs would have been just enough. Now I want to move some of this alcohol ink around so it's all not stuck in one place. So I don't want it all stuck on the edges. Don't know if these slits are supposed to be there. I mean, I'm assuming because that way it's easier to get out of the mold. I'm going to fill it up just a little bit more. There. Now it is full. All right, I'm going to leave it just like that. Pray to God all that doesn't come oozing out of those, out of those cuts. Oh, goodness. All right, that's what I wanted it to do, is look just like that. Swirled around in there like that. All right, guys, we'll come back when this is cured. I have it on my heat mat, so it should be a couple hours, and we'll see what it looks like. Can't wait, I'm excited. All right, see you in a couple hours. Bye. Hey, y'all, we're back. I think that this is ready to come out of the mold. It's been over 2 hours. I probably ought to touch it first, though. Yeah, it's ready. Okay, cross your fingers. Because I'm nervous. Nervous. I honestly don't even know how to get this out of here, to be honest. There's one petal. There's another petal. So I wonder if I tip it over this way. Ugh, guys, I'm afraid I'm gonna bust off something. Okay, I'm just gonna grab onto it. See if that works. Because there's so many pieces to it, I'm afraid. Ah. Come on. There we go. One more. Got it. You guys, look at that. Is that not pretty? still a little soft, but not too bad. Gotta put my glasses on here. And of course, there's some bubbles in there. I wonder how you prevent those. Got some little things right here on the from where those edges were. And then there's another one right there. So I'm curious to know how you can prevent bubbles in this stuff. And I used my really low viscosity resin too. But it's pretty. I love how those colors just went marbling inside of there. But I want no bubbles. I want no bubbles. And then we could take a gold marker. See this? Let me bring it down a little closer here. You know what I always need to do this? Because I have to sit it. There. Now you guys have a really good view. But these little things right here, gosh, every time I come in here, I don't think that one's supposed to be. That center one doesn't. And then I don't know how to get down there without touching. Little disappointed in the bubbles. And I ran it through my vacuum chamber before I poured it in there. So I'm wondering, whoops. Which one did I do that on? Oh, shoot. I just touched the center of that. Which pedal did I do that on? Oh, right here. If you don't get this stuff wiped off right away, it just doesn't like to come off. Some sticky on here. But boy, if you touch it, it'll stick to your hands. Gosh, I can't see what I'm doing. There's some sticky on this table. My hand keeps sticking to it. This is harder than it looks. Way harder than it looks. I gotta turn this a little sideways here. Still have one more. Gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this. Get this in here. Very pretty. Very, very pretty. I love it. Gosh, there's sticky stuff all over this thing. Has to be UV resin, because if it was resin it wouldn't be sticky. So what do you think, guys? Isn't that beautiful? Let me put it on a darker background. Or even just a white. There. Isn't that pretty? Very pretty. I'm very disappointed with the bubbles. I've got to figure out how to do that without getting bubbles in there. And I don't know how. But I'm going to figure it out. Because if you notice, it's not on the inside. It's on the outside of the leaves. Right there. Which is odd. It's like all the bubbles came forward. Even though, I don't know. I'm going to have to put my brain to it and figure it out, because there's got to be a way that this can be done without bubbles. But anyway, I'll put my brain to it. I'll figure it out. So, well, there you have it, guys. There's the lotus flower from Into Resin. Love the mold. Love the after effects. The mold is very, very nice. You can definitely tell that it's handmade. I'll bring you guys back up here. I just don't know how to figure out the no bubble process, other than spraying it with alcohol before pouring it in there, which, you know, may have to be the way to do it. So anyway, there's the lotus flower. She's so pretty. Just love it. I do have some plans for this flower in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. And just to reiterate that Into Resin is, like I said earlier, overwhelmed with orders on their homemade molds. So be patient if you have an order in for this, or for any of their homemade molds, and you will get them. Like it said, up to 30 days. Could be 4 to 6 weeks, whichever. And now that they're being overwhelmed with orders, it could take a little longer. I do have a 20% discount with Into Resin. I will link that in my description box, along with the link to this mold. And I think I'm definitely going to try this mold again, because I don't want bubbles in it. I want it to be bubble free. So I'm going to work that out. And so even if it takes me a couple of tries, but I do love it. It's beautiful. I love how the colors just kind of swirled in and around in those petals. It's pretty. Love it. Okay, guys. I've got, I had some extra resin left from this, and so I poured some puffy heart molds, and I don't think they're ready to come out yet. They're still pretty stuck. So, okay guys, moving on to the next. Let me know what you think in the comments about this, and I'll put the link to the discounts and everything in my description box, and let me know what you guys think. I'm curious. All right guys, catch y'all in the next video. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.